Hey guys, I'm Evan. Welcome to Country View Acres. So today I'm gonna finish fixing the Heston hay mower. Got a bolt that broke off in the pitman arm. We're gonna see if we get it out today and put back together. We've got hay bales that are out in the field that we need to haul in. We've got a pig feeder over here. We really need to see if we can get it ready and put out in the pig pasture. We got pigs that need to go out on pasture. We got a lot of stuff that needs to be done today. I don't know how far we'll get, but let's get going. So right here's the pitman arm, and inside of this hole right here, there's a bolt broken off. So we're gonna use an easy out. So we're gonna drill a hole in it, and then you take this, which is an easy out. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's made to be turned left-handed, like backwards. It's supposed to grip into that hole and then hopefully back out the bolt. And hopefully that works. I'm gonna chuck this into the mill here, and then we'll get a hole drilled in it. So on this easy out, it actually says on the side of it what drill bit size to drill the hole, which is 5/32 for this one. Ooh, that's a hardened bolt. And it's moving. I don't know if you can see that, the drill bit was wanting to go sideways. I'm gonna use a center drill to get started. All right, we got the hole through it. So now we just got to get our easy out tapped into that hole and see if we can get this to spin. Doesn't look like it wants to come out that way. Man. Flip it over. Oh man. All right, we're gonna drill it out a little bigger. A lot bigger. Oh, I think we're getting her this time. The problem is the threads are messed up, so it doesn't want to get past these messed up threads. So the problem I'm running into is I've got a hole that's like this deep that's threaded, but then the bolt actually broke off on both sides. So there's this little sliver of a bolt right in the middle, and then the threads are messed up on both sides. So I can't get it to spin out either direction. It was moving a little bit when I started. Now it's not even moving at all. So I'm gonna go ahead. I think the best thing to do at this point in time is just to drill it completely out. So now that I've drilled this hole completely out, threads and all, I called around trying to find a thread repair kit, a helicoil, to be able to put new threads in here. Nobody has a 1/2-inch fine threaded, helicoil to go in here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use it as a through bolt. It does get a nut on the back side that'll hold it together, and it'll probably get us through the season. So let's see if we can get the mower put back together. So I took this apart farther than I probably needed to, so I need to put this back on here. And then inside of here goes this bearing, and this bearing's actually, it's not flat, it's like humped. It's got a curve to it so that it rides inside of here. And we got another one that goes on top. And this plate captures that bearing. That bearing can't come out now. See, it's stuck inside there. Well, I bought new hardware to put in here. The old hardware seemed a little short. Hopefully you can see that bearing, the way that goes together, that bearing is trapped inside there, but yet it can still swivel. All right, I got the pitman arm put back together with the bearing inside. So now I gotta slide that down here on the drive shaft, and then there's a collar that goes on after it with a set screw that holds it in place. So the bolt that broke off in the pitman arm, it ended up being called a wheel bolt. You can see how it's tapered down from the hex, just like a lug nut is tapered down on one end. And so this is a wheel bolt, this is a lug nut, and then that's what assembles this. You have to have both of these. So a lug nut goes on the bottom, wheel bolt goes on the top, and then of course with that tapered edge, it self-centers itself and tightens everything up. So now the trick is going to be getting these in there, because I don't have a lot of space, and getting it all tightened down. Well, this has definitely been miserable out here trying to fix this out in the sun, but it's all put back together. I've spun it by hand, it all spins freely, and I think we're ready to test it out. So we'll show you what we did. So we got the pitman arm back on the drive shaft. We've got new carriage bolts in here. We've got the counterweight back on it. And then the pitman arm comes up and bolts right under here, which this is the pivot that goes back and forth and moves the sickle. So overall, this repair, it was mostly labor. So I had to buy one wheel bolt and one lug nut to go on it. And then I had to buy 6 carriage bolts for the pitman arm that goes around that spherical bearing, if that's how you say it. So that was about $10. And then I ended up buying 2 new hydraulic hoses, and that was about $90. So this is about a $100 repair on the mower. Overall, it's not like real costly, but it's just definitely like a full day's worth of work. So I just checked the weather, and today's Tuesday. Doesn't look like we'll have rain till maybe Friday night or Saturday. So that should be plenty of days to go ahead and cut more hay. So I'm gonna go ahead and hitch this up to the tractor, and then we'll go out here to the pasture that we tried to cut the other day when it broke down, and see if we can get the rest of that cut. All right, I got the tractor hooked up. I'm gonna turn the PTO on just to test it. Well, I guess it's now or never. We'll head out to the field. All right, I just finished getting the pasture mowed. So the Heston, the Heston made it through one more time. So the plan is, I know I've had tons of people comment on my junk equipment that I have, but I like to think of it as like economical, thrifty, I guess. But my plan is not to sink a bunch of money in this. I've had it two extremes. I've had a lot of people talk about going and buying a different piece of equipment, and I've had people talk about getting new rollers to put on the inside, doing all these things to it. I don't plan on spending money. I just want to limp it through the season. I just want it to get me by. And I do plan on trying to find a new mower here in the future. So we'll just have to, I don't know if that'll be this season or if it'll be at the end of the season, you know, like this winter, but I'm definitely be looking for one. So this will probably be the last year we use it. So whenever I do get a replacement hay mower, I haven't decided yet, I may still keep this one as a backup, and I may sell the sickle bar mower, or I may end up getting rid of both of them if I end up getting a decent mower that's in good shape. But for now, I think I'm done with the Heston hay mower for at least another 6 or 7 weeks. So we'll go ahead and get this cleaned up and put it away. So last night I went to the local lumber yard. I picked up a 3/4 inch piece of green treated plywood, and that's what I'm going to use for like the roof or the lid to put on top of the hog feeder that we got at auction. And then I also picked up a 1/2 inch piece of rebar, and I'm going to try to use that to make stakes out of, to stake the hog feeder in place. Now once you throw 300-400 pounds worth of feed in there, the feeder is going to be pretty heavy, but when it's empty, I don't want the pigs being able to push it around. But let's go ahead and get started and see if we can get this pig feeder ready to use. So I'm going to make the top about 5.5 feet long, so then it'll be 4 feet wide, which should give plenty of overhang to keep the feed from getting wet. This piece of plywood's already bowed. Just put the bow up, it'll make I guess a natural roof, right? Water will run off. Went and grabbed a couple used 2x4s. See if we can help make it's gonna be like a frame that fits around the feeder so that the roof stays in place. You'll see. Right there, that's going to be our frame. That'll fit, the top of the feeder will fit right down inside of there. Oh man, oh, I may have to make some handles for this thing. It's pretty heavy. I got a couple gate handles here that came off the garden fence, the doors on the garden. Just using some construction lag screws. It is heavy. I'm sure that the handles helped a bunch. Ah, it's down. All right, so here's a side view. You can see the overhang hangs out. Should be plenty to keep the rain from getting inside. And then as we look at it from this side, still got plenty of overhang to keep the rain coming in at an angle. So I think that this is going to work just fine. Now, I know some people are looking at this and they'll think that's just going to blow off in a storm. Well, I'm going to put some concrete blocks on top of it, and hopefully that'll help weigh it down and it'll stay in place. So the next thing I need to work on is a way to stake this down to the ground. Now, if you look at this one side, it actually has some loops that are like welded onto the side. I could perfectly put a piece of rebar through that, stake it to the ground, and then as we look at the other side, there is none. They're gone. It looks like the welds broke off. But what is here, somebody drilled a hole right there. And then down here, there's another hole. So my plan is to put these eye bolts through the holes, and then this will make a perfect pocket to be able to, you know, put a piece of rebar through and stake it to the ground. And I'm glad the holes were already drilled, because stainless is a pain to drill. And I think this is going to be a good solution. Good thing about this is going to keep the feed from coming out these holes. It's going to plug them too at the same time. That's good. So let me show you how this hog feeder works. Down here at the bottom, this piece right here is a shutter. It goes open and close, and you can adjust how big this opening is down here for it to how much feed comes into the trough where they eat. And those shutters are attached to these long rods. So you just flip this up, and then you can spin this and adjust it to the height that you want. I think we're gonna adjust them to about a 2-inch opening. Well, I adjusted the shutters. I adjusted them up as high as they can go. They're not perfectly even. They're somewhere between 1 3/4 inches and 2 inches. And we'll see how that does. We can always pinch them back down if we need to, but I want to make sure that the pigs have plenty of feed. So the next thing to do is to make some stakes out of this 1/2-inch rebar. I really hoped when I went to the lumber yard that they would have more like 5/8 or 3/4, something a little bit beefier than this. But this is the biggest they had. This is all they had, really. So it's a 10-foot piece. I'm going to cut a couple 4-foot pieces on there to stake them down, and that'll allow us to get the stake in close to 16 to 18 inches in the ground. I hope that should be enough to keep it from moving. And on the top of the stake, I'm probably going to weld maybe like a big, like 3/4 inch nut, maybe a big washer on the top, something to give you like a surface. Basically turn it into like a big nail so that it has like a head on the top. It's not perfectly centered, but I do think like one of the reasons I put it on there is that when I want to pull it out of the ground, I'll be able to grab this with the chain and it probably won't slip past that nut, and I'll be able to pull it out of the ground easier too. All right, second one's done. While we're waiting for the stakes to cool, I think we'll head out to the pig pen, and we probably need to clear an area for this feeder to go, because it's definitely, the pig pasture area is definitely overgrown with weeds. Hey pigs, you guys are up early this morning. Normally you sleep in. You cooling off in the mud. So here at the back of the pig pen, we installed this 10-foot gate here, and we made it so it can swing back and we can tie it against this little, there's a hog panel fence right here. It's hard to see with all the weeds, but there's a hog panel fence right here. And this is where I want to try to load the feed in here. I want to be able to take the tractor and just basically lift the pallet forks up over this fence so that I can take the bags of feed, put it into the feeder. So the feeder I want to go roughly right in here. So let's just go ahead, we'll weed eat at least this area out. We'll weed eat in front of their gate as well. And then once we get this set up, we're gonna let the pigs out in the pig pasture for the first time. All right, I've got this area all weeded now. There is some concrete pads in here, and then right in there I found a cinder block, so I'll probably use that to put on top of the lid. And I'll probably try to put the hog feeder on top of one of these concrete pads, situate it in a way where I can still get the stakes in the ground, and that'll give it a nice foundation to sit on. I think this is gonna work out. All right, I got the pig feeder on top of the concrete. It's angled slightly, and I got a piece of rebar right beside the concrete on this side and another one on just right against the concrete pad on that side. So I think it's as much on the pad as I can get it. Seems like it lays pretty flat, so I think we'll go ahead back. We'll get a hammer to pound in these stakes, and we'll get the pig feed and we'll fill this up. Well, I got 600 pounds pig feed here. So 300 pounds of it is ration number 3, and then the next 300 pounds is ration number 4. And the rations change as they get heavier in weight. It's based off of the pig's weight. I'm hoping I can at least fit 300 pounds in here. So far we got 200 pounds in here. I think we'll get 300 in. All right, that's 300 pounds. We're probably like 3 inches from the top. So yeah, I think that's perfect. So if you look at the feeder, it doesn't look like too much came out with it, the shutters lifted up all the way. But I think the pigs will be able to reach in there and get the feed. If not, I can always just take the whole shutter off probably and just remove it. But let's let the pigs out, see what they think of this pig pasture. All right, pigs, come out and explore your new area. They'll be a little slow crossing where this gate is. They're not sure what to think. Who's a brave one? Huh? Who's gonna come out here first? See if I can get some of this feed to come out here. That way they know this is their feeder. Well, I thought maybe the pigs would be curious and check out what I was working on, but it looks like they're just gonna disappear out into the woods. Well, I guess I'm just gonna keep my eye on them for a little bit. I'd like to see them find the electric fence on the perimeter of the pig pasture and make sure they don't try to go through it. Well, the pig tried to test the fence with his nose. He got shocked and then he ran back in. So he didn't try to run through it. That's a good sign. That means he's trained to back away from it. So I think I'll just go ahead and leave the pigs out here and I'll come back and check on them later. All right, I've got the hay spear on the front and the back of the tractor, and I'm gonna go out to the field. I'm gonna start hauling all the hay bales up to the front of the property. Just gonna stage them up there for now, and then I'll probably get them ran through the bale wrapper here in a couple days. All right, I just finished up. I've got all 29 bales staged along the side of the driveway. So it's 5:30 in the evening now. I think I'm gonna go ahead and feed the sheep and check the pigs and then probably call it a day. Well, here's the pigs, and I see that they have found their feeder. They have been eating out of it. So that is good. Don't have to worry about you guys starving. Well, I'm definitely happy to see that the pigs are still inside the pig pasture, inside the electric fence. So that's good. So they are trained. I'm glad that they're figured out the pig feeder. And I think this is going to work out. This is stainless steel. It should last a long time. I know the roof is a little bit cheap and cheesy, but hopefully it works. So after a big rain, I'll come back out here and I'll check this, and I'll see if any water got inside and see if the feed got wet. But yeah, I think this is going to work out, and then that's one less daily chore that I have to do. Instead of feeding the pigs every day, now I'll just have to fill that feeder up every couple weeks maybe. We'll see how long it lasts. So out here in the pasture, I just cut this with the hay mower yesterday, so it's dried all day today. And tomorrow, as long as the weather holds, tomorrow I'll come out here and I'll get this all raked up and see if I can get it baled as well. And after that, I'll probably start wrapping the hay bales and start getting them stored up front. I'll probably try to stack them and store them in as small place as possible. And then the first cutting of hay is finally complete. Today is the 7th day of cutting hay, working on equipment, baling, and yeah, tomorrow will be the 8th day. And that's a pretty long stretch, really, think about it. A long stretch without any rain. So kind of been blessed to be able to have that weather window to do this. And today there has been some like little thunder showers popping up around, and I've seen some go south of us, north of us. They've all missed us. So luckily this hasn't really got rained on. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that we can make it through the day tomorrow, which I think the weather tomorrow is actually better than today. So yeah, hopefully we get this all finished up without any more hiccups. But I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.